Fucking boo. Look at that. There's you guys can't fucking cut the main. There we go. Welcome to Haunts, Graves, and Omens.
Welcome.
For the last 2 years we've been doing that. Isn't that crazy?
It's wild.
And still finding new ways to fuck it up every time.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just clicking on the actual thing versus like, you know, doing what like I normally do, which is like hit a keybind down below here and then it like will play. But I'm an idiot because I have a video ready to go, and if I fucking press a keybind, then it all goes to hell, and then I have to reset it. Welcome to 2 years of me being absolutely manic here on Haunts, Graves, and Omens.
Welcome.
My name is Fred Stewart, and with me, as always, is my lovely co-host.
It's me. It's Taylor.
Tay.
Hello.
Hello, Tay. And with us running cameras and sound is Marty Coke. He's not here.
Actually, it's you running.
It's me running cameras
today.
and sound today, yet again. We do have a live stream going on right behind our Eduardo here, which is just a name that we've had for every skull that I've ever owned. But welcome to Haunts, Graves, and Omens. I can't believe over the last 2 years we've been doing this.
I know. It's wild.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
Yeah, I believe we are just technically we're filming this on the 20th. Which will come out on Sunday as it normally does. On the 21st of October, 2 years ago, we released the first ever episode of Haunts, Graves, and Omens.
Wild.
Absolutely insane. We were on a couch, and I was like, "Do you want to make a podcast?" And you were like, "Yeah, we should do Haunts, Graves, and Omens." And I see that. Like I said, we have our chat going, and I see Perfect Graves in here. Perfect Grave is one of my dear friends who was one of the namesakes of Haunts, Graves, and Omens, so she's here, which is really cool. But, yeah, it's just weird, man. We've covered so much stuff, and when we get to episode 100 here in just a few weeks, I'm going to share some insights with you guys about the things that we've covered over the last 100 episodes. I've been keeping a nice, fun little spreadsheet of how many true crime cases, how many things like that, and just talk about our favorites. And then we're going to be inside of a very haunted location as we do it. And also we're going to tell you some really fun stories.
Hell yeah.
And I'm very, very nervous about going into this building.
Yeah. I mean,
it's very nerve-wracking.
fine.
It's very nerve-wracking.
Probably fine.
But nonetheless, I do have some quick videos to show, and for people on the live stream, you're not going to be able to see it on the live stream, which we'll figure that out eventually. But I just want to share it with you guys. This is from the UFO Congress hearing. This comes from the Shawn Ryan show, and I just wanted to just play this audio for you guys. I figure you guys might enjoy this.
I want to first thank you for the invitation to speak to the committee on the UAP topic that has been in the news for the past 6 years and seems to be continuing to gain momentum. As you know, my name is David Fravor. I'm a retired commander in the United States Navy. In 2004, I was a commanding officer of Strike Fighter Squadron 41, the world-famous Black Aces. We were attached to Carrier Wing 11, stationed on board the USS Nimitz, and had begun a 2-month workup cycle off the coast of California. On this day, we were scheduled for a 2v2 air-to-air training with the USS Princeton as our control. When we launched off Nimitz, my wingman was joining up. We were told that the training was going to be suspended and we're going to proceed with real-world tasking. As we proceeded to the west, the air controller was counting down the range to an object that we were going to, and we were unaware of what we were going to see when we arrived. The controller had told us that these objects had been observed for over 2 weeks, coming down from over 80,000 feet, rapidly descending to 20,000 feet, hanging out for hours, and then going straight back up. For those who don't realize, above 80,000 feet is space. We arrived at the location at approximately 20,000 feet, and the controller called merge plot, which means that our radar blip was now in the same resolution cell as the contact. As we looked around, we noticed that we saw some whitewater off our right side. It's important to note that the weather on this day was as close to perfect as you could ask for off the coast of San Diego. Clear skies, light winds, calm seas, no whitecaps from waves. So the whitewater stood out in a large blue ocean. All four of us, because we were in F-18Fs, so we had pilots and Wizzo in the back seat, looked down and saw a white tic-tac object with a longitudinal axis pointing north-south and moving very abruptly over the water like a ping-pong ball. There were no rotors, no rotor wash, or any sign of visible control surfaces like wings. As we started clockwise towards the object, my Wizzo and I decided to go down and take a closer look with the other aircraft staying in high cover to observe both us and the tic-tac. We proceeded around the circle about 90 degrees from the start of our descent, and the object suddenly shifted its longitudinal axis, aligned it with my aircraft, and began to climb. We continued down another 270 degrees, nose low, where the tic-tac, or we considered 270 degrees to where, and we went nose low to where the tic-tac would have been. Our altitude at this point was about 15,000 feet, and the tic-tac was about 12,000. As we pulled nose onto the object, within about a half mile of it, it rapidly accelerated in front of us and disappeared. Our wingmen, roughly 8,000 feet above us, lost contact also. We immediately turned back to see where the whitewater was at, and it was gone also. So as we started to turn back towards the east, the controller came up and said, "Sir, you're not going to believe this, but that thing is at your cap point, roughly 60 miles away in less than a minute. You can calculate the speed." We returned to Nimitz. We were taking off our gear. We were talking to one of my crews that was getting ready to launch. We mentioned it to them, and they went out and luckily got the video that you see, that 90-second video. What you don't see is the radar tape that was never released, and we don't know where it's at, of the active jamming that the object put on an APG-73 radar, and I can get into modes later if you're interested. What is shocking to us is that the incident was never investigated. None of my crew were ever questioned. Tapes were never taken, and after a couple days, it turned into a great story with friends. It wasn't until 2009 till Jay Stratton had contacted me to investigate. Unbeknownst to all, he was part of the ATIP program in the Pentagon led by Lou Elizondo. There was an unofficial official report that came out that's now on the internet.
But nonetheless, with the rest of that video, basically just goes on to say that they never investigated officially interviewed these guys who saw these Tic Tac style craft. They also interview another member inside that U.S. Congress hearing about for the UFOs about what he saw. A completely different pilot who saw 4 cubes, clear cubes with black balls inside of them. I might be getting those mixed up, but it's that general shape with that, and they're in a formation, like a diamond formation, and they're all moving together.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, pretty fun.
Yeah.
I just thought that'd be very fun to share with everybody.
Yeah.
Shout out to Shawn Ryan Show. Go listen to it. It's going to be linked in the comments or linked in the episode description. 'Cause fucking love that guy. But nonetheless, 2 years of Haunt Scares and Omens Day, and we have something that's perfect for the Halloween season.
Right. Actually, there's 2 things in this episode.
2 things.
2 things.
2 whole things
Two
for this
whole
episode.
things. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm fucking, dude. Look, see this shit, dude? Look at this shit, dude. Look how fucking ready I am, dude. I'm so ready, dude, that like people who like say they're ready aren't. You know what I mean, dude?
But you are?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I'm ready to get into it.
All right. So with the spooky season in full force, as it is already the 20th, I wanted to cover something that would fall right into that category. And we're going to be covering 2 things, but we're going to start off with the house on 112 Ocean Avenue.
Ocean Avenue, where you
Not
used to
quite.
sit and talk with you. Bullshit didn't feel so right. Sleeping all day and staying up all night. Staying up all night.
My computer is being fucky. This house, okay, thank you, HP, is also known as the Amityville Horror House.
Oh shit,
which
dude.
I'm surprised we've never covered.
We argued about it earlier, and I said, I swear to God, we've covered this.
And we scoured through. We have not.
And so if this is a repeat, then sorry, but I don't think we've covered this. I feel like we would have like definitely like had that would have been like the key point of the episode.
Right, and we have like the list. I feel like you would have put it in the thing like, hey, we covered these. Couldn't find anything. So I think we're in the clear.
I guess. I mean, as far as I can tell, yeah.
Okay.
We're in the clear, so.
All right. So before we really dive into the spooky nature of this house, we need to talk about the history of the colonial revival home.
Fuck. I hate history, dude.
No.
That's like so lame, dude. You know?
Well,
it's like, let's talk about the ghosts like right now, dude. Let's talk about it.
We got to talk about why there's ghosts.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
So around 6:30 p.m. on November 13th of 1974, Ronald DeFeo?
Yes.
DeFeo, who was at the time 23, entered Henry's Bar in Amityville, Long Island, New York, and declared, "You've got to help me. I think my mother and father are shot." DeFeo and a small group of people went to 112 Ocean Avenue, which was located near the bar, and found that DeFeo's parents were dead inside the house. One of the group, DeFeo's friend, Joe Yeswit, made an emergency call to the Suffolk County Police Department, who searched the house and found that 6 members of the family were dead in their beds.
That's not very live, laugh, love of them.
It's not. The victims were Ronald Jr.'s parents, Ronald DeFeo Sr., Louise DeFeo, and his 4 siblings, Don, Allison, Mark, and John.
Yeah.
All of the victims had been shot with a .35 caliber lever-action Marlin 336C rifle around 3 a.m. in the morning of that day.
Which is something that, like, once you get a little more into it, and I'm able to kind of talk about the, like, a little more as the crime evolves, you know? Yeah. It's like, how did nobody wake up to the sound of a .35 caliber lever action Marlin just fucking ripping rounds off?
Which, I don't know much about guns, but I assume it's...
Well, see, guns are loud.
Well, yeah, I know that. Thank you. I don't need you to mansplain that guns are loud.
So guns go...
Thank you.
Really loud. All the time. Except when they're not being fired.
Well, yeah.
Then they're silent killers.
Or the gun in the basement is just constantly making noise.
He's like, I'm fucking ready. I'm ready.
So, his siblings had all been killed with a single shot, and his parents had each received 2 shots. So there were a total of, let's see, 6? No, 8. I can't count.
Brother.
I can't.
Come on now.
I'm working on it. Math is really hard for me.
I guess. Yeah.
I've never said I was good at math. I'm still not good at math.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, dude.
According to Suffolk County Police, the victims were all found laying face down in bed. The DeFeo family had occupied the home since purchasing it in 1965. The 6 victims were later buried in St. Charles Cemetery nearby in Farmingdale. Ronald DeFeo Jr., also known as Butch, was the eldest child of the family and its lone surviving member. He was taken to the police station for his own protection after suggesting to police officers at the scene of the crime that the killings had been carried out by mob hitman Louis Fellini. However, an interview at the station soon exposed serious inconsistencies in the versions of his events. The following day, he confessed to carrying out the killings himself, and Fellini actually had an alibi, proving that he was out of the state at the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He was just like, he just fucking was like, no, I was killing another guy, like a couple states away. See what happened when that family was annihilated by their son. I had piano wire and I was taking off Timmy Two Shoes' fucking head. And they're like, oh, well, at least you didn't do that murder. And they're like, he's like, yeah, I'm not a monster.
Yeah.
Anyway, can I wash my hands in your sink? My hands are still covered in blood.
So DeFeo told detectives, quote, once I started, I just couldn't stop. It went so fast. He admitted he'd taken a bath and redressed and detailed where he had discarded crucial evidence, such as bloodstained clothes, the Marlin rifle, and cartridges before going to work as usual.
Yeah.
He just carried on with his day.
How do you think that conversation went at work? Like he was just like say I'm Ronald DeFeo, I'm Mr. DeFeo, and you're my supervisor, yeah. And he knows like I'm a little bit late. Like I'm just like sitting there washing my hands in the sink. Like,
hey man, you were.
I didn't kill my family.
Okay, I didn't say you did. I just wanted to know why you were a little bit late today.
Blam, blam, blam.
It's just wild to me that
Family Annihilation's not funny, but the image of the man acting out him doing a thing at work is funny. Of him just being like, blam, blam, blam. And they're like, yeah, you still gotta like do your fucking job, dude.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, my bad.
It's wild that he, like, I don't know. It's just the thought of doing that and then just carry on about your day, going to work.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, it's odd to me. But DeFeo's trial began on October 14th of 1975. He and his defense lawyer, William Weber, mounted an affirmative defense of insanity, claiming DeFeo had made claims that he killed his family in self-defense because he heard their voices plotting against him.
Yes, the 9-year-old kid was plotting against you.
Yes, apparently.
I mean, they are dangerous at that age, you know?
How?
Kids are psychopaths. Every child I've ever met is like trying to actively kill me in some way or another.
Actively?
Yes.
How?
Because they're fucking dangerous little monsters, dude.
They're just kids.
You gave if you were like, I don't know, cutting a piece of cake at a party,
Yeah.
and you leave that knife in that cake, dude, better start watching your fucking back, dude. Because they're gonna just come up and they're like, "Hey, Taylor!" And you're just like, "Ah!"
I don't think so. I think that they would run around with the knife.
Yeah.
I always think of that video where it's like, "What do you have?
A knife? Yeah, no.
Yeah, I always think of that.
Yeah.
Because that's a very child thing to do. Is just take a knife and run around.
I don't know, dude. Like you leave a Marlin 38 caliber, 35 caliber lever action in a room with a 9-year-old dude, loaded. It's a dangerous room to be in.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
It's a dangerous room to be in with anyone, I think.
I don't know.
Personally. So the insanity plea was supported by the psychiatrist for defense, Daniel Schwartz. The psychiatrist for prosecution, however, Dr. Harold Zolan, maintained that DeFeo, although DeFeo was a user of heroin and LSD, he had an antisocial personality disorder and was aware of his actions at the time of the crime. The trial's judge, Thomas Stark, declared that...
Thomas Stark? Thomas Stark?
Yeah.
Tony Stark's dad?
God damn it.
I think that's his dad's name.
I don't think it is.
I don't know. I can't look it up because the live stream going.
He declared that DeFeo's crimes were, quote, the most heinous murders committed in Suffolk County since its founding. On November 21st of 1975, DeFeo was found guilty on 6 counts of second-degree murder. On December 4th, 1975, Judge Thomas Stark sentenced DeFeo to 6 sentences of 25 years to life.
Christ.
He's not getting out.
No, I would assume a family annihilation is where you draw the line, you know?
I don't know. Sometimes with our judge system, I am doubtful.
Yeah, I guess.
You know, sometimes they're like, oh, you killed 10 people? You get 3 months with 2 months time served. Call it good. Like, I don't fucking trust them. Are you looking up on his dad's name?
Yeah, because I was it's Howard Stark. I was fucking wrong. Thomas Stark. Oh, I was thinking Thomas Wayne. Batman.
Yeah.
Yep. That makes sense. I don't know. It's just a fucking, I don't know, dude.
He fell apart.
Could be like Beef Stark, dude, for all I know.
Excuse me?
Yeah, also I can't get the mouse back over, so I can't close anything. There we go.
So DeFeo was held at the Sullivan Correctional Facility in the town of Fallsburg, New York, until his death. All of his appeals and requests to the parole board had been denied. He actually passed away like 2 years ago in 2021.
Yeah, he sure did.
Relatively recently.
Yeah, pretty wild.
It's fucking crazy.
I believe that house also just like went up for sale like relatively.
It sold
ago.
earlier this year.
Yeah.
And I actually later on I'll say how much it's fucking sold for.
But it was a lot.
Yeah.
This room looks really lovely with the stain of family murder on it. You know, like you can just feel the energy of just violence just emanating. But I think it'll be perfect for you and your family. And then it's just a family from the Amityville Horror movie, dude, just moving in. They're like perfect.
Perfect.
Or it's like a reptilian family, dude. I don't know.
So in December of 1975, just a month after DeFeo was convicted of the murder and 13 months after the murders themselves, the Lutz couple and their 3 young children moved into the home, which they had reportedly snatched for $80,000.
Yeah, that's fucking red flag number 1, dude.
So in today's time, that's around $400,000.
Still.
I mean, it's expensive, but it's not as expensive as it should be for that home.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a gorgeous home from the outside.
That's what I'm saying. It's red flag number 1.
Well,
these keybinds aren't working.
we know we know white people and the red flags about houses. They don't see them.
That's true.
Like, you could be like, listen, so there were like 40 murders done here, but there is a nice backyard and we'll knock $20,000 off. And, you know, people are like, fucking sold.
Sold, dude.
I will sign the papers right now.
Yeah.
Like,
I really wish that this thing would start working because I can't do anything right now. I can't change cameras. Wow, that's really cool. That's not what I wanted.
what is happening?
I don't know. I'm simply apparently moving things, even though I'm not trying to. Wow. Look at that, YouTube viewers. You get to see me fly around like a fucking idiot because nothing works. Hello?
Oh, it worked.
So he's going to yell at it. Fucking piece of shit.
It worked.
Miss Marty.
Huh?
Miss Marty.
I know. So on December 18th of 1975, that was the day that the Lutz family moved into their new home in Amityville, and they had a Catholic priest come by to bless the home, supposedly at the request of Kathy. On October 4th of 1979, a little more than 2 months after the release of the movie, which eventually comes out about everything that happened, the investigative television program In Search Of featured an episode with an interview who they claim is the real Amityville priest. He, at the time, wanted to remain anonymous, so his face was kept hidden. He says, quote, "I was blessing the sewing room. It was cold. It was really cold in there." And I'm like, well, gee, this is peculiar.
That's a very priestly thing to do.
Well, gee.
Well, gee, you know, it's funny because, well, gee, it sure is cold and haunted in here.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, dude? What are you talking about?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
And demon, get out, demon, they're making it cold. You know how hard it is to heat this fucking big ass house in the winter.
Yeah, he was just like, well, gee, this is peculiar. And just kept going about his business.
Yeah.
So he says it was a lovely day out. It was winter, yes, but it didn't account for that kind of coldness. He was sprinkling holy water and heard a rather deep voice behind him saying, "Get out."
Get out.
It seemed so direct. He says, quote, "It seemed so directed at me that I was really quite startled. I felt a slap at one point on the face. I felt somebody slap me, and there was nobody there."
Oh, shit, dude. It's pretty spooky.
Yeah. The priest did warn the family to never sleep in the room due to the encounter, so that's why they had turned it into a sewing room. Originally, it was going to be a bedroom.
Don't sleep in this room, but sewing is okay. They're like,
I don't fucking.
just try to avoid it altogether. I feel like that's probably the best option.
Nah.
They're like, well, listen, if you have to sew and spend a lot of time sitting down by yourself
With sharp objects.
with sharp objects surrounding you, be sure it's in the room where this demon attacked me.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
No. How about you do what we hired you to do and like move it, like get it out of there.
So, unlike in the movie, the priest never encountered flies in the home.
Yeah.
But he did say at some point in his visit to the Lutz's home, he discovered unexplained blisters festering on his hand, which is very fucking weird. It was later revealed that the priest was Father Ralph Pecoraro.
Oh, Father Pecoraro.
Yeah.
Feels like a very Italian name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's he's also Catholic, so it's probably Italian, if we're honest.
And if these cameras are super jumpy, I do apologize, but I'm trying my best because this thing isn't working very well.
What happens if you just click them?
Well, the fucking mouse doesn't work as well either. Oh. See, look at that.
Oh. Huh.
Anyway. Huh. Or not. Wow.
What is happening?
I don't know. There we go. It's haunted.
Oh.
It's cursed.
So from the very first night that the Lutz family moved in, the family claimed that they felt strange sensations. Within days, the family's personality had drastically changed. Arguments had ensued. George was plagued by a constant chill and spent all of his time feeding the fireplace. George also noticed a change in his grooming habits, and his and Kathy's health declined drastically. Chris Lutz, who is now Chris Quarantino, had a lot to say about his stepfather. According to him, when the family moved into the house in 1975, George Lutz was, quote, extremely curious of everything paranormal and tried to summon supernatural beings by chanting. Quote, I don't know that I'd call it black magic, but it was a way to call up spirits.
What a dick of a stepdad, dude. It's like, hey, mom said, no conjuring demons in the house. And he's like, well, that's your fucking mother. I'm going to listen to your mom. I'm like, all right, I'm just saying.
So.
What? That's such a terrible thing to do. Why would you do that?
I don't know. But it's pretty well known that George Lutz, eventually it came out, not when everything was happening, but it eventually came out. He was pretty into the occult.
Yeah.
He was fucking around with shit he shouldn't have been fucking around with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he found out.
Oh, he found out.
Some of the alleged incidents detailed in the Amityville Horror books, such as the front door being ripped from its hinges by unseen forces, never occurred, according to Quarantino. But he insists that he did have his own run-ins with the paranormal, including the time that he saw a presence as definite as a shadow in the shape of a man that moved towards him and then dissipated. Obviously, that fucking scared the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Scared the shit out of me.
Dude. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
I wish.
There it goes.
I just gotta hold it below the thing.
Oh.
It's fine.
Weird. Quarantino now says that he now wants to set the record straight from Lutz's version. He points his finger at the house and says there's something evil there. Fingers should be pointed at what his stepfather had done. He's a perpetrator and an instigator.
Damn, dude.
So
I hate my stepdad too, but he's now super dead.
Well,
pranked ya, bitch.
I don't think you could say pranked ya. It wasn't a prank.
Pranked ya. Happy Halloween.
So we're gonna kind of go into more of what happened in the home. George was said to wake up at 3:15 every morning, which was said to be the time that Ron carried out his murders.
I mean, I also wake up at 3:15 every morning, but that's just to go to work.
Well, I don't think his was for work.
Murder's kind of like work. It's a lot of work.
You're not wrong. So the Lutz family also claimed to smell strange odors and experience cold spots in certain areas of the house. And while the movie makes claims that the toilets overflowed with black sludge, George Lutz claims that it was actually the porcelain toilet bowls and ceramic fixtures that had mysteriously gotten black spots appear on them. And he said that in a 1979 interview. It wasn't the water that changed into black sludge.
So mold?
Does mold grow on ceramic though? It's not porous.
I don't know.
But also it was the ceramic had changed color.
Oh.
Which it doesn't do.
That we know of.
I mean, yeah.
Because of demons. Are you even paying attention to your own story, Tay?
It doesn't do that normally. Right.
Sure.
Have you ever seen ceramic just turn black?
Dude, I don't even fucking care about ceramic, dude. I can't even think about the last time I thought about anything ceramic, dude.
Do you think about the Roman Empire more than ceramic?
Dude, you know what I think about more than the Roman Empire and fucking ceramic shit?
What?
Fucking aliens and reptilians and how they're controlling the government, because we know they are. I'll tell every person at a bus stop that I meet that they're doing that.
You're not even taking the bus.
Exactly. They need to know. They need to know. All right. They're in danger.
Are they?
They will be.
Oh, shit. Okay. So there was also a nearby garage door that was known for opening and closing repeatedly. There was an invisible spirit knocking a knife down in the kitchen. There was also a pig-like creature with red eyes that would stare down at George and his son Daniel from a window.
Mordecai?
No. So
Mordecai.
about that creature, we're going to talk a little bit more about. The Lutz daughter had begun spending all of her time in a room playing with a imaginary friend she described as a red-eyed pig called Jody, who could not only who could transform not only in shape but size, at times being larger than the house. Jody also claimed she could not be seen by anyone unless she wanted them to. The entity was also known to present itself in different forms, including as an angel, the large pig. In the movie, George sees Jody in pig form in an upstairs window. And earlier in the movie, his wife had seen Jody's glowing red eyes through a window in the darkness. There's also a drawing that Missy had done, allegedly of Jody, that is in Jay Anson's novel. The creature, honestly, it just looks like scribble. It kind of looks more like a cat than a pig. However, the book describes it as a drawing of a pig walking through the snow. Who knows? I don't know. It's a weird fucking creature that just shapeshifts.
That is super terrifying, though, that this child is talking to an imaginary, or not really imaginary, but talking to a possible demonic entity.
In unseen force.
Yeah, in their room, but it's kind of like fun to think about, like in the sense of like maybe the demon's like going after everyone, and then like it sees her, and then she's like, Jody, you want to play tea time? He's like, yes, I would love to play tea time. Like sits down, sits down in the seat, just like, I'm the king of Funny Town. And then like just turns around and shapeshifts into a pig and chases the family up the stairs. Like, oh shit.
This is the drawing.
We'll have to add that on the screen. What the fuck is that? That is awful.
That is a pig in the snow. Running in the snow.
Ah. Great. We'll show it on the wide here.
It looks
what
like
the fuck
every
is that?
kid drawing where they're like, I drew you something.
I drew it.
And you're like, oh, that's really great. What is it? And they're like, obviously, it's a pig running through the snow.
It's a pig.
Obviously. God, get it through your head. Like, it's like, I don't fucking know what that is.
What sound does a dog make?
It barks and goes woof.
What sound does a cat make?
It meows.
What sound does a pig make?
Oinks.
Get the fuck on the ground! Show me your fucking hands! All right.
God.
It's jokes.
So
Don't worry, it's a joke. It's jokes. All right, it's jokes.
it's jokes.
It's jokes. Also, don't mind the fact that I just had to readjust the fucking camera mid podcast.
It's fine.
Because wasn't focusing.
It's fine. Yeah. So that drawing just looks like a hot mess.
That's like one of my favorite jokes.
It is a good joke. Mysterious foul odors would also emanate from different locations of the house at different times. Kathy was touched by an unseen force, and there was a green gelatinous substance that would appear throughout the house on the walls.
Gross.
Yeah.
It's like Jody Spum, dude.
Yeah. Fucking gross.
Yeah, he's just walking around in pig form, just blasting ropes on shit, dude. He's like, I'm a demon.
So while the priest did not see the flies, there was an instance of hundreds of flies appearing in the sewing room, despite it being the dead of winter. So that's where they got the inspiration for that. That did actually happen. But
wrong room.
Just not in the way that they described it. The priest wasn't there. This just happened.
Yeah.
You know. George says that he also awoke one night to witness his wife transform into a 90-year-old hag, and then the next night she began levitating over the bed.
It's fucking super rude, dude. It's so fucking rude to call your wife that, dude. Fucking old hag, dude. Fucking old bitch. She's just like, it's like, quit levitating.
The Lutz family did try on numerous occasions to contact the Catholic priest, only to find that the phones would cut out whenever they tried to call. Same thing. Like if the priest would call, it would just be static. He couldn't get through to him.
Oh shit, dude.
It was fucking weird.
That is weird.
Like that's
really weird.
So, after failing to get the priest to return, the family took matters into their own hands. Why they didn't just go to a church, I don't understand.
Yeah,
it's not like they were locked down in their house.
There's only one way to solve this demon problem, and that's the do it ourselves instead of leaving the house and maybe calling somebody from using a different phone and having them come over, and then we set up a time where they like do seances and get the thing out, but we gotta solve it right now. Me and you. Fuck that, dude. I'm out.
Yeah, honestly. So they were armed with the crucifix, and they walked through the house reciting the Lord's Prayer. A chorus of voices erupted in response, asking, "Will you stop?"
Oh, that's so funny, dude. Just like, our Father who art thou in heaven,
Will you stop?
Will you stop? And it's like, hallowed be thy name. Just keep going, just terrified. Like, I don't know, like, it's clearly not working.
Yeah, honestly. I think it got like missed. There was also Kathy at one point, there was a door slamming and opening repeatedly. And she was like, can you not right now? Like, I don't have the patience for this. And then it shut and it wouldn't open.
It's like, fine, you're going to be a fucking dick about it. I'm just trying to be super scary, but whatever. And close the door.
And just fucking kept it shut. Like, he was like,
that's awesome.
Nope. The final night was reported to be the worst. There was banging and rappings as loud as marching bands emanating throughout the house, furniture being moved on its own, and the children were being terrorized. According to Daniel Lutz, he got his hand smashed by the window. In real life, Daniel says that the window smashed his hand, quote, skin on skin, emphasizing the initial severity of his injury. In his documentary, My Amityville Horror, he holds up his hand in front of the camera to demonstrate that his little finger is still bent from the injury. Moments later, he does kind of contradict himself somewhat by saying that his hand had magically healed just minutes after the injury.
I don't know, dude. That's pretty weird. But that My Amityville Horror, dude, is a fantastic documentary.
Is it?
It's very good. I'm pretty sure I watched it with you.
Have we? I don't know.
I'm sure we have.
Probably.
It's a fantastic documentary. It's very fun. Like, it's fun and spooky, but
yeah.
I don't know. I believe that these people experience an incredible haunting, but I don't necessarily believe everything that they say.
Right.
I believe certain things did happen, yes, but I don't necessarily believe that like every single thing that they say happened.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, just like that. It's like your hand was injured and then it fucking like, you know,
just healed.
Yeah, it just healed. That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. Nonetheless, After 28 days in the DeFeo home, the family could take it no more. They grabbed only a few belongings and fled the house. They left everything, taking shelter at Kathy Lutz's mother's home in nearby Babylon.
Interesting.
Not even a month, not a full 30 days could they make it in that house. I think something fucking happened in that house.
Do you think you could last 30 days inside the Amityville Horror house?
Probably.
You're like, you fucking pussies, dude.
I mean,
Fucking
probably.
bitches, dude. Imagine being such a wuss, dude. Easy, brother. I can fucking stand here.
Could you do it?
Probably not.
No?
Maybe. I don't know. I think I don't know, dude. It'd be tough.
Yeah.
It'd be tough. I feel like.
I mean, okay.
Especially if the level of haunting is this high.
Right. Okay. So it does depend on, I guess, if everything that they're saying is true. I'll make it 29 days. Just to prove a point.
Yeah. I would say just in the next day after you, just like be like, yes, dude. Yeah, I did 30 days, dude. 30 days in the DeFeo fucking Amityville Horror
At the
house.
same time, I don't think that it was as intense as they say it is. I think things happen.
I feel like it was quite intense.
For them to only last 28 days, I think it definitely.
It has to be super intense because to this day, as far as I've known, they've never officially said what happened truly on that last night.
Yeah,
They never truly said this is what happened.
Like play by play. Yeah.
Ever. It's never been done.
Yeah.
They've never done it. And then I don't think they ever truly will.
Well, the parents have passed. So Kathy and George have both now passed. But the children, a lot of the interviews, you can only find the two sons. The daughter is like nowhere to be found. She doesn't want a part of any of this.
Yeah.
Which says a lot, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, dude. If I was involved in a haunting of this level, dude, I'd be like, fucking come interview me, dude. I'll tell you whatever you want to know.
Yeah, the daughter can't be found for interviews. Like, she doesn't want any part of it.
Pretty suspicious.
I'm sure she changed her name.
Suspicious.
After telling their story, George and Kathy did take a lie detector test to prove their innocence, and they both passed. Though, as we've discussed before, it's not necessarily hard to pass a lie detector test. You just got to be calm.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, watch. Like, we'll do it right now, dude. Like, let's see. Ask me whether or not I'm drinking this beer before.
Did you drink this beer before?
No. Am I being detained?
Yeah.
I want to talk to your supervisor. I want to talk to your supervisor right fucking now, dude.
That's not happening.
I see, like I said, we have a live chat going, and Chris, our boy Chris, says, "Let's go spend the night at the Queen Mary," and I firmly agree. we should just go travel around. That should be the next 100th episode. We should just go to like the most haunted fucking location we could possibly find.
Like the 200?
Yeah, 200. We should just go be like, we're going to the DeFeo house. We're going to spend a week in the DeFeo house. We're going to go to the Queen Mary. We're going to go in the boiler room. I'm going to fucking jerk off a ghost or something. I don't know, dude. What's next?
So there are claims that the couple was bogged down in legal and financial issues, which prompted skeptics to believe that they had a motive to create a fantastical story to sell to the public. The Lutz's lawyer, William Weber, who fell out with them over money issues, came out in 1979, claiming the three of them had come up with the horror story over many bottles of wine. According to their son, Christopher, George and Kathy did not have trouble paying the mortgage. Due to the history of the home, it was listed well under the market price of $80,000. During an interview with Spooky South Coast, Chris says that George and Kathy were able to make a large down payment with the money they got from selling his mother's house as well as George's house. By moving into such a spacious place on the water, George was able to cut a number of costs, enabling them to afford the mortgage. He intended to move his family's land surveying business into the basement. He was able to eliminate mooring costs for his two boats since he had the property, which housed a private boathouse. In the documentary My Amityville Horror, his brother Daniel agrees that money was not an issue as portrayed in the movies.
Interesting.
So they didn't have financial issues.
That we know of.
I mean,
That we know of.
Yeah. But it sounds like they kind of had everything figured out. Like,
yeah, then like it's like kind of like the reasoning behind people like telling like abduction stories with aliens. It's like, what motive do you have?
yeah,
You want to ruin your life? You know?
honestly.
That's what happens in large profile cases like this. Is this shit fucking ruins like people's lives, which is insane.
Yeah.
Like, especially within the last, couple months, dude, or look at last year, how we just did the U.S. Congress hearing on UFOs and how fighter pilots, commanders and shit are talking about like intercepting Tic Tacs and UFOs and seeing all this weird shit, and they're trying to basically say like, we got to stop the stigma of people seeing weird shit, because it's a threat because we don't know what it is,
Right.
and the same thing should go for stuff like this. Like what? Why would somebody come out and say like, I've seen weird shit in this house, and then like, why would they want to ruin their lives like that? That's why like I've always been open with my paranormal experiences, because I'm like, if I got nothing to fucking gain, dude. Like I have nothing to gain from my stories. I just know what I've experienced and what I've seen.
Yeah. In fact, Daniel, who he currently lives in Queens, as a stonemason, claims that the house ruined his life and that he continues to have nightmares to this day. Christopher, in one of his interviews, claimed the same thing, that he still has nightmares and that the whole ordeal just kind of ruined his entire life.
Yeah, sounds about right.
It seems pretty fucking spooky. 20 days after the Lutzes fled, paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren were called in by Marvin Scott, who was a news reporter with the Channel 5 New York, who had covered the Amityville story and worked on a prior investigation with the Warrens. Oh, wait, how my camera off?
Here, I'll pass this off to you. Yeah, see, Marty's camera. There it is. Look at that. We got our candles back. That definitely were in frame the entire time, and definitely not off screen.
Yeah, no.
I went to I went to like make sure like the candle was good, and I'm like, there's no candle. I was very confused for a couple of seconds. Yeah. Fuck. All right. Anyway.
So a team of reporters, investigators, and parapsychologists were assembled by Ed Warren and met at the home. And the Lutz family refused to re-enter the home during the investigation.
Bro, I would too. Fucking A.
They said, no, I'm good. I'm okay. During the investigation, Ed was physically pushed to the floor while using religious provocation in the basement. Lorraine was also overwhelmed by the sense of a demonic presence and was plagued by her psychic impressions of the DeFeo family bodies laid along the floor covered in white sheets, and had a sense of physically being pushed back. There is also a photo out there. The research team appeared to capture the spirit of a little boy peering around from the second floor.
Yes, and I've seen this photo a couple times.
It's pretty fucking spooky.
And it's pretty spooky, dude. And I'll put it up on the wide.
Yeah. It's that fucking...
Put it right here. What's on the wide.
So spooky.
And it's very spooky. Now, it has allegedly been debunked here and there. I don't fucking know. I wasn't there, but it's super, super weird. Basically, for the audio listeners, you can go to our Instagram once this episode's out for the people, for our homeboy watching. But it's basically of this little kid who is believed to be the 9-year-old boy sticking his head out of a bedroom, and he's got these glowing white eyes, and it's very, very spooky.
I mean, yeah. And it comparatively to John DeFeo, it does look similar-ish.
Yeah.
But it is weird. There's no transparency. It's clear as, like, solid.
Yeah, I mean, it's a full-bodied apparition. Like, there's no opacity to it. It's just a solid entity.
Yeah. So there's that photo. The land was also found to be used by John Ketchum. John Ketchum was a practicing black magician and had a cottage on the land prior to the construct of the Dutch colonial in 1924. John had requested that his remains be buried on that property, and as far as everyone knows, they remain there to this day.
Interesting.
There's also the Shinnecock Indians, who at one time had an enclosure on the land that was used to house the sick, the mad, and then those who were in this enclosure were left to die. The Warrens believed that the suffering that had happened on the property left a very negative effect, very negative energy in dark history, and that such a negative history was a magnet for demonic spirits and the preternatural? I'm just going to say supernatural. I don't know what the fuck that word is.
I've never heard of preternatural.
I don't know. The Warrens use some fucky words sometimes, so I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, that happens. They really do be like that sometimes.
The Warrens believe these energies directly impact the lives of both the Defoes and the Lutzes. The Warrens retrieved a handful of the Lutzes' earthly possessions and the deed for the property. The Lutz sold the rest of their belongings and relocated to California. The home that was once purchased for $80,000 in 1975 sold in early 2023 for $1.7 million and is off the market now.
Yeah, that's 1.7 mil?
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. No, it was I've seen some that say it was 1.4, but either way,
that's a lot.
It's a lot of money.
Our boy Chris in the chat posted, how come we don't hear about stories of like modern ghost times, you know? Like, why haven't we heard any stories of someone hearing a ghost go, hey, I'm gonna boop you, ooh, bestie, boop bestie? I feel like we do experience modern ghosts. I feel like it is quite common. I feel as if it is not as widely reported.
Yeah, makes sense
you know,
to me.
I feel like there has to be. I mean, we truly don't know why. I mean, I've been ghost hunting for, God, how old am I? Over a decade. And we'll just leave it at that. Over a decade, and I've seen incredible things and I've seen terrifying things, but the one thing that I can't truly answer and explain is why.
Yeah.
Why does it happen? Everybody has a theory. There's a million theories out there of why things happen. Why a spirit stays in a place for a long time like this. Like, does the family stay here? The spirits of the DeFeos, are they still here because of the trauma of the murder they experienced? But what also was the entity that was there prior that got him?
Yeah.
You know, that maybe influenced Ronald DeFeo and caused him to commit family annihilation.
Yeah.
Or is it just DeFeo being DeFeo?
Yeah. Who knows? I do want to say that there have been no further reports of activity from any of the recent residents either.
Interesting.
Yeah, so any of the occupants after the home, from 1976 on, I believe the house remained empty for quite a while after this initial, when the Amityville stuff was released.
Yeah.
People kind of stayed away from the home for a while, but then people went in. No one really spends more than a couple of years, though.
Yeah, that's I don't know. That's kind of weird.
I mean, like, kind of move in and then leave eventually, but honestly, who knows?
Who knows?
It could also be that they just aren't noticing anything. There's nothing like
that's true. That could
be it happened to the family, the Lutzes. Maybe things have just quieted down.
Maybe, perhaps. I know that stuff like this, like, I don't know how to describe it other than entities can sometimes remain dormant for long periods of time.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just laying in wait and just waiting. or maybe it moved on somehow in one way or shape or another, and it's no longer actually like, in the home. But nonetheless, it's a fucking bizarre story.
It is a bizarre story. There were a bunch of legal things as well that happened that I didn't include because I don't know. Legal stuff is a lot of mumbo jumbo. I don't understand.
It is a lot of mumbo jumbo. There's a lot of like subpoenas.
Yeah, like
subpoenas, sepias.
No.
Objections.
Yes.
Overrules.
Yes.
Rules.
Technically, yes. There are rules that you have to follow in court. You are correct.
Did you know there's rules you have to follow in court?
Yes.
Did you know you can't go to the judge and go, "You're fat and fucking bald"? Apparently that's a crime. It's like, "Sir, this is traffic court." And I was like, "You'll have to put me in the chair."
Yeah, I mean, it is overall just a weird story. A lot going on there.
Yeah.
But who knows? Who knows the true story? Maybe it was all for, not all of it, but I'm sure a lot of it. As Chris says, their son, not Chris in the chat, obviously.
Yeah.
He says, a lot of it was blown out, kind of out of proportion for the purpose of movie and storytelling.
Yeah.
It was kind of just blown up. But the stuff actually did happen.
Yeah, there's something did obviously happen. Marty, what do you think? I think that the house is haunted.
Spirit has a lot of opinions too.
I think the house is haunted.
Spirit also says it's haunted.
If you can hear Spirit through on the mics, we do apologize. She's we're upstairs, basically on the second story. She's downstairs. And
she's upset about it.
She's very upset.
So we are going to move on.
Are we now?
We're going to move on to a haunted family home. But this one is in Pennsylvania.
Can I read that line?
Yes.
That's on top of the newspaper? Planned exorcism, a surprise to a family.
So it was the latest update to a story that newspapers across Pennsylvania and beyond had started to circulate. But while the media had only detailed the dark forces that tortured a family in Pittston for just about a week, the family themselves claimed to have been the target of otherworldly assaults for a whole year and a half. Jack and Janet Smurl.
Smurl. Mm-hmm. There's like a family made out of snails. Like a family made, like it's this giant snail family. Call her Smurl. Smurl.
So
that's such a tough last name, dude.
It is kind of a tough last
name.
I
had a guy, so I work for an airline, and I won't say who, but worked for an airline, and we had a passenger with us whose name was Richard Creamer. And I was like, damn, your name is Dick Creamer, dude. Like, I just thought about how bad that name is.
Yeah.
Dick Creamer is a tough name to have.
That is a tough name to have.
Yeah. It's kind of cool, though. I'm Dick Creamer. PhD. Emphasis on the D.
So, Jack and Janet Smurl were forced to move into a duplex in West Pittstown in 1973 after their home was damaged by flooding from Hurricane Agnes. With them came their 2 daughters, and 2 more twins would come later. And Jack's parents moved into the other half of the duplex months later. The duplex at 328-330 Chase Street was a bit of a fixer-upper, but otherwise unremarkable. The fact that in fact, the Smurls said that nothing of note happened there for over a decade. Right? This is the weird part.
Yeah.
Nothing happened for a decade, and then 1985 rolled around.
Oh God. Not 1985.
With Springsteen, Madonna.
Way before Nirvana?
Yeah. I'm so mad we didn't get to see them. They were in town just like 4 days ago.
Nirvana? Yeah,
No, Bowling for Soup.
Dude, that guy Kurt Cobain died.
Bowling for Soup was in town 4 days ago, and I really wanted to go.
Hey, I don't know. I don't know how to tell you this. Kurt Cobain died.
I know.
All right. Gotta let him go. All right. I know you just found out, but he's gone.
I know.
Well, he's not really. He kind of went everywhere, but he's gone. He's gone. You know, he's gone. Kind of. Did you know? Did you know Kurt Cobain had dandruff? He found his head and shoulders behind the couch. Anyway, so what happened?
Wow. Okay. I need a second. All right.
Kurt Cobain was murdered. He was murdered.
He was murdered.
He was murdered.
So the year 1985 came around.
Yeah.
And in a 1986 interview, Jack was quoted as saying, quote, "Up until a year ago, I thought these things only happened in movies," as he was talking to Lorraine Warren with Ed, who had taken on the Smurls case. Quote, "And I always felt, of course, that movies were, always overstated to begin with, so I wasn't really a believer. And it all started with the night of their daughter Heather's confirmation. Janet had been readying the girl for the ceremony along with her other daughter Shannon when, as Janet tells Lorraine during the interview, a ceiling light with no warning at all and in the manner of a second broke free and smashed into the kitchen table. Her daughter Shannon was left with a gash on her forehead and the area wrecked."
That's actually pretty spooky, dude.
That's pretty fucking weird.
Someone should have fucking, I don't know, like fix that. Like, that shit was just probably just like just like shaking all the time, and they're like, it's like half like bent off, and they're like, hey, you gotta fix the light.
I think it's okay.
You should fix the light.
I'll fix it tomorrow.
You said that 10 years ago when we moved in.
I'll fix it tomorrow.
I'll fix it tomorrow, Janet.
So, not too long after that incident, Janet was doing laundry in the basement when she heard a woman's voice call her name twice. Janet.
Can you say a little more spooky? Because you're just doing
It wasn't spooky, though. The way that it was said wasn't spooky. She thought it was her sister.
Oh, okay. I feel like it'd be like a little more like, like, Janet. Like, what?
It wasn't said spooky. Like, she just thought it was her sister. Janet then responded she would be right up. But when she got to the top of the stairs, there was nobody there.
I still can't get over the fact that this family's last name is the Smurls.
I know.
I'm Dr. Smurl.
So the
I'm a doctor in snail law.
God.
The doctor-in-law, but
Smurls further tell the Warrens how lights began to turn off by themselves, doors would open and shut at a whim, knocks would be heard in threes. The family would catch shadows prowling at the edge of their vision.
Now, do you know why spirits allegedly knock in threes?
Isn't it to mock the Holy Trinity?
It is to mock the Holy Trinity. So the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And then there's like the other one, which is like the fucking Lucifer, Baphomet, and the Antichrist or something like that. Yeah. Something along those lines. So it's like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
It's better than 3 than like 40. Or like
that's true.
Or like 28. You know, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
can you shut the fuck up?
8. It's like,
fucking stop.
Fuck, dude. Jesus Christ.
It's like, fucking stop. And they're like, guess I gotta fucking start over because I lost count.
Yeah, it's like, I have to knock 142 times. I got to 90 and I lost count.
You just said you got to 90.
Yeah, but I got to 90 something. All right? I wasn't really paying attention.
So, the Smurl's 3-year-old German Shepherd Simon also seemed to be a particular target. Jack describes to Lorraine how he and Janet were awakened one night by an otherworldly howl, described by Jack as, quote, the graveyard type.
That is how I'm going to describe my farts and my shits and my loud pisses in the middle of the night. The graveyard type. like I definitely have farts that are the graveyard type. Like, not only do they sound like a dead guy, but they smell like a dead guy. You know what I mean? Like just like it's like, oh, something's like the beast is awakened. Janet.
So, they had thought that had come from the dog slumbering on the floor beside their bed.
What the fuck's wrong with the dog?
I don't know, man. When Jack turned to comfort him, something held his hand back.
You cannot pet that dog.
Yeah, basically.
Can I pet that dog? No.
When he finally managed to pet Simon after ripping his hand free from whatever had held it, he found the dog fast asleep.
Shit.
So it wasn't the dog.
It's good.
Simon would at times seem to be transported in and out of the house without any human help. Unseen hands would throw the dog against the walls, according to the family's account.
Oh, shit.
Whatever this was did not like their dog.
Damn, what's wrong with what kind of, you know what kind of dog it was?
It was a German Shepherd.
It was a German Shepherd, dude. It's getting yeeted around.
German Shepherds are like decently sized dogs.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, are we sure this dog just didn't have like a drinking problem?
Yes, because things would pin it to the wall.
Yeah. Booze.
No.
This dog had an opium addiction like you wouldn't believe.
I don't think so.
It's just fucking laying there. It's like he can't move.
So, the hands ended up turning to the family too. They would be drugged from their beds at night, scratching and slapping them at random, all while the noises continued, with hoofbeats, screams, and moans joining in the voices that gently called out to them.
It's insane.
You
know what's another thing I forgot to do for this podcast? We don't have any spooky sounds.
Oh well, it's fine.
We're already too far in.
We're an hour 7 in. We're good.
It doesn't matter.
I thought about it before we started.
Yeah.
Immediately left my brain.
I did too. I was like, remember to play the sound or start audio, play the sound, get back to my chair. And then I was like, we're an hour in. I was like,
Kind of quiet.
Sure is quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well.
There is another particularly disturbing story that was described in the 2011 book, The Coming Darkness.
Coming Darkness.
This involves a sexual assault against Jack.
Oh, shit.
At the hands of a woman around 65 or 70 with serpentine snake-like scales.
Dude, that is fucked. That's so scary.
Yeah.
Like, I've heard of like ghosts like sexually assaulting, like essentially like raping people before. I've heard of stories. There's a case that's famous here in Oregon because of that.
Yeah.
Which we should cover for a podcast because it's super fucking scary. But that, because like I've heard like the lady from the one here in Oregon was like it was like a black shadow that came and did it. It was like this shadow entity.
Yeah.
But that's fucking also super scary.
Yeah.
That's like just a serpentine snake-like scales, all of a 65-year-old 70 woman just fucking skulking around and shit, dude.
Yeah, he describes being unable to move throughout the entire thing, to the point. So there was another thing that I was reading. This happened in the living room, and he can clearly remember that a football game was on, and like he remembers everything.
Wow.
Like everything. He remembers just like little details. Mm-hmm. But it's like you wouldn't like think to remember that.
Yeah, but I mean, I listen, like like I said, this like very rarely do you hear of something like this happening in the paranormal world.
Right.
But like oftentimes when I hear of stories like this, right, I hear of a almost sleep paralysis like event.
Yeah.
Coinciding with it, of just someone like you can't move and you're stuck. It's like when we did the Hat Man episode, like people couldn't move and they're stuck there, and then like, you know, the Hat Man like glides his way in, and he's like just fucking like just feeling all over your body as he just stands there and pulls out his little pocket watch and he like looks at it, you know, shit like that. But I mean, that's kind of what it sounds like is happening here, and I wonder if that kind of like relates to what is happening with like the Hat Man and other paranormal encounters where like stuff like this happens.
Right.
You know, like not necessarily like he's like it's in his head, but like it's fucking like that entity is somehow manipulating what's happening to him.
Yeah. And the other very odd thing is how it left him covered in a pungent, smelly fluid.
That's fucking gross.
Like all of it is just very odd.
Also, I feel like the name The Coming Darkness is a bad name for an event that has that happen in it.
Yeah. It's not a great name. I'm
guessing it's like means like the prelude to what happens next. But still, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just saying, I'm not making fun of it. I'm just saying it's a poor choice of a book.
Yeah.
At least it's short. At least it's a short name for a book.
That is true. We always say give a book a short name. It's a little more snappy, a
little more snappy. Can we get some snaps? More snappy, yeah.
I feel like we're at like a poem.
God,
poem
fuck,
slam.
dude. I would rather live in the Amityville Horror House than go into a fucking poem reading, dude. You know, they're like, Jazz, my father never truly loved me, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go hang out with the demon that fucking climbed inside Mr. DeVeo, dude. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to be here.
Also, I got it wrong. So it actually happens in this story. One day, exasperated, Janet yells at one closet door, opening and closing rapidly. Will you knock it off? I'm in no mood for you today. And it shut and stayed that way. I was wrong. It didn't happen in Amityville.
It's like here. I'll be
That's
just be like.
Will you knock it off?
Fucking so rude, dude. Just hanging out, dude. You know, Janet, you're kind of a bitch. You know that? Like, I don't got nothing to do. All right. I'm a demon. I just float around and fucking close and open shit all the time.
The neighbors also would claim to hear screams coming from inside the home when nobody was there.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Janet says that she was picked up by an invisible presence dangling some 6 feet in the air and then tossed across the room. According to Pittstown resident Bernard Radzvin to the Reading Eagle in the summer of 1986, he says, quote, "It's a lot of malarkey."
Take that, Snurls. You fucks. You're a lot of malarkey.
Radzvin and many others, a number of whom were neighbors, most likely irate at the press circus that had taken over the neighborhood, have called bull on the Smurls. This includes members of the decade's supernatural community, such as Paul Kurtz, who's a spokesman for Buffalo-based science investigation of claims of the paranormal. Just writing it down.
You mean the forever cherished BC or B sneeze SICP?
Mm-hmm.
Bisip. Yeah, dude. My favorite, dude. I love those guys.
He spoke to the Vindicator that same year about the Smurls and dismissed their claims as, quote, uncorroborated mishmash that seemed to involve superstition. The Vindicator is a fucking badass reporter, like newspaper name, though.
Yeah, dude. I thought it was. I swear to God, I thought he was talking to a supervillain.
He spoke to the Vindicator.
He's like, or it's like an anti-hero, dude. You know, you're just like, it's like, what do you think of happening in this North House? And he's like, I don't know, but the only God knows I'm here to stop crime. Like, oh, dude, the Vindicator. Oh, cool. I
do really like that. That's the name because that's a fucking cool ass name. It is a fair sentiment, to be sure, especially considering two rather large holes in the family's tail, them claiming that the paranormal activity just started to pick up after the family had lived there for a decade, coincidentally during a time which the Amityville Horror was still a prominent pop culture phenomenon. And then people also went after them for contacting the press at all. Because everyone fucking does. They're always like, you contacted the press? Must be doing it for money.
You must be doing it for money. You must want to ruin your family's lives and get no money for nothing.
Yeah. Basically.
That's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It's dumb. They're dumb. So is the Vindicator, dude. You're dumb.
The Vindicator is actually a really
fucking
cool name.
such a cool name, dude. I'm so fucking pissed, dude. So cool.
It's a really cool name. It's much better than the Reading Eagle, like
a bird that knows how to read
versus the Vindicator.
Oh, the bird that knows how to read. Big tough bird knows how to read. Guess what, bird? I know how to read too. And guess what? I got thumbs. Fucking prick. Fucking stupid fucking bird. Got a lot of hate.
So in addressing the second hole where they're like, you contacted the press. Why the fuck would you do that if this is such a problem? The Reading Eagle article says that they were desperate for help. There were 2 failed exorcisms that had forced the Smurls to go public in the hopes of casting a wider net with the media, that it would attract someone more capable of getting rid of the demons.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like
Which makes sense.
That's a fair thing to do.
Yeah.
Because, like, you just kind of, like, tell your family and friends, they're going to be like, damn, I don't know.
Like,
maybe we should contact the press. And you do, and they're like, fucking idiot.
Fucking
Dummy, fucking stupid idiot, you piece of shit. You're ruining your family's lives. Cutting through all the cameras. Marta Coward.
So, with that net that was cast, in 1986, the family ended up bringing in a pair of demonologists. Ed and Lorraine Warren, everybody.
Oh my God.
They're back. They're here.
Ed, I can feel it, Ed. I love Lorraine Warren, dude. I'm not gonna trash on Lorraine.
Yeah. No, Lorraine's great.
No, so is Ed, dude. They're both really cool. I'm not. I wish I would have been able to meet them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe they're both passed now.
Yeah, Lorraine passed recently.
Yeah, I mean that's a shame, dude. Fucking, I don't think there's anybody truly out there. I mean, that are like demonologists like that.
No.
That I can really think of that I would like be like, I need to give these guys a call.
Yeah.
You know?
Their stuff is still up and running. It was passed on.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I miss them every day.
So, according to Ed Warren, the demon that inhabited the Smurl's home was, quote, very powerful. And it shook mirrors and furniture after they tried to persuade it to leave by playing religious music and praying. Didn't work. Surprising, honestly.
Yeah.
Warren claimed that he felt a drop in temperature and saw, quote, a dark mass form in the home. And the demon once left a message on the mirror telling him to get out. After months of investigation, Warren alleged that he had a number of audio tapes containing knocking and rapping caused by the demon. Gonna make a joke there?
Knocking and rapping caused by a demon?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 into the 4.
Yeah, like,
I'm a demon and I'm gonna fucking lock the door. You're not gonna escape because I'm gonna hunt your way. I don't know, dude. I don't have a demon rap prepared.
I was hoping you would.
I will for next week, I guess. I'll make Marty do it. If he shows up, I'm gonna fucking die.
Lorraine Warren concluded that the Smurls shared their home with 4 spirits: a harmless elderly woman, a young and possibly violent girl, a man who suffered and died in the home, and a demon that used the other 3 spirits to destroy the Smurl family. Because, of course.
It's all about just outsourcing the job. Just
Yeah.
like, you gotta have a guy who was in charge of the other ones, right?
Yeah.
Because look what happened to the fucking Amityville Horror House, dude. Like, that demon got a little overwhelmed, and that's okay. He needed to. He's honestly, God, he's probably on vacation, dude. He's probably down in like Florida.
Taking a good 100-year vacation.
Yeah, just like in out of it's like haunting a fucking like a Jimmy Buffet's margarita factory, just,
Margaritaville.
yeah, Margaritaville, not Margarita Factory. It's a different place.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a different place.
Some people say there's a demon to blame, but I know.
Honestly, the next time we go to Vegas, I want to go back to the Margarita Factory. Their food's not very good, but the vibes are
The
immaculate.
vibes are immaculate. It's also really fun to go in there when it's like your second or third day in Vegas and you already just hate the fucking sun and the way that it's shaped and it looks and it feels. And like your just skin hurts from just existing because you've been drinking nonstop for the past 3 fucking days. And then you walk in and it's just like, people say that they say when, and you're just like, oh yeah. And then they go,
The big old blender?
yeah,
Dude,
big old
that's a vibe.
blender, dude. Big old blender. Then they're like, can I get you some more alcohol in your system, sir? And you go, yes,
Yeah.
please.
I'm going to buy the Margaritaville Crocs. I think it's my next purchase. Because I'm going to buy them and wear them to Margaritaville, obviously.
Next week is going to be, I believe it's going to be the week after is going to be like our Halloween episode.
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah. And so next week when we record is going to be our Halloween episode.
Should we dress up like Jimmy Buffett?
we should dress
All of
up
us?
like Jimmy Buffett. That would be really funny.
I love it. I'm in.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
I don't need any more convincing.
I think we're definitely going to dress up like in a costume. I feel like we have to.
Yeah. I will absolutely be Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffet.
I'm in. No need to convince me further. Listen, I grew up on Jimmy Buffett, and the vibes that he produces
You
are
grew up
just
on top of Jimmy Buffett.
yes, obviously, and just the vibes are so good.
Yeah.
Like I love it.
Yeah. You know,
I got a soft spot for Jimmy Buffett.
listen, Jimmy Buffett is definitely a memeable kind of guy.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to like poke fun at him here and there.
Yeah.
And when he passed away, I was like, damn, that's quite a shame, dude, because he seemed like a really cool guy. And then I went and listened to like his like newer stuff, and I'm like, still jam, dude. still kind of fun, dude.
He was a really cool dude.
Yeah.
Like all of the
Did you know that he was probably a neo-Nazi?
no.
No, I'm just kidding. I have no idea.
His
Probably wasn't.
His employees that would made posts about him after he passed. They
yeah.
were like, he's a wonderful dude. Like he would come in, he would just be so friendly. Like he wasn't snooty. Like he was just a dude with some good vibes.
Yeah.
And I
That's
love
how
it.
I want to be, but like as a ghost hunter goth kind of dude, where I just roll up to my bar restaurant chain, and just in my hearse, just get out at a nice crisp 68 years old, and just kind of like get out and be like, who's ready to see me drink 15 beers and pass out of the bar? It's you. Let's make a bitch.
Like his vibes were great.
Yeah.
I love Jimmy Buffett. I will be Jimmy Buffett for Halloween. Do not tempt me.
Right.
You can be. Is yours a surprise? Can I say what you're going to be?
Mine's going to be a surprise.
Okay. Well, you can be what you're going to be, and I will be Jimmy Buffett on Halloween. I do not care.
Yeah.
I love it. So back on topic.
Back on topic.
Professor Paul Kurtz of the State University of New York at Buffalo, and then chairman of the Committee for the Scientific Investigation of Claims of the Paranormal, said that the Warrens were not objective, independent, or impartial investigators and characterized the Smurl's claims as a hoax, a charade, a ghost story. Kurtz said that the family's claims were possibly due to delusions, hallucinations, or brain impairment, and advised they submit themselves to psychiatric and psychological examinations. Jack Smurl told a newspaper reporter that he did have surgery to remove water from his brain in 1983 because he had been experiencing short-term memory loss due to a case of meningitis in his youth. So Paul Kurtz was like, "You got brain impairment, buddy."
Your fucking brain's all fucky, guy.
I was like, the man had meningitis, like, as a child. Chill.
That's not very tightness, bro. You know what I'm saying, dog?
I do know what you're saying.
Dab me up. I'm saying it's terrible, terrible dab.
Well, it's offhand.
Well, yeah, you have your other hand, brother. You know what I'm saying, dude? There you go. Fucking Jesus Christ. Jeez, fucking Christ.
Allentown psychologist Robert Gordon commented that people often look at demonology to explain many tensions that they experience as individuals and within their families. Spokespeople for the Roman Catholic Church, Diocese of Scranton, said that they were unsure what might be causing the disturbances. St. Bonaventure University theology professor Alphonsus Trabald, OFM, said that there might be, quote, other less demonic explanations. Less demonic. Not like
it's half. Like
not
he's
fully demonic, half demonic.
Yeah, it's kind of it's half of a half.
So a quarter?
Half of a half.
It's like
half of a half of a half of a fourth.
What?
It's less demonic.
I just like that he's like, there might be other less demonic explanations.
Yeah, maybe this demon likes to ride a unicycle and shove a fucking rock up its ass, dude. I don't know.
I don't know. The home was blessed by several priests who said they saw, quote, no harmful activity while on the property. Janet Smurl claimed an unidentified priest performed 3 unsuccessful exorcisms.
Go, demon, work it, demon, go, push, and rest. It's like, the demon's like, my abs are fucking killing me.
She says that the demon avoided the rites by moving between the double block home and following the family to other locations. In 1986, a priest from the local diocese spent 2 nights at the Smurl home and said nothing unusual happened during his stay there. Excuse me, computer. In 1986, the Smurls told the press that they were tired of the constant media bombardment. However, within a few months, they had authored, along with Ed and Lorraine Warren and Scranton newspaper writer Robert Curran, a paperback version of their story called The Haunted, which was published by St. Martin's Press. The book was criticized by reviewers such as Wilkes Barre, Times leader staff writer Joseph Marusak, who wrote, Robert Curran forsakes the principles of his trade to give readers a one-sided account of what happened or what did or didn't occur over several years in Jack and Janet Smurl's former home. He forsake the principles of being a newspaper writer.
Yeah, because everyone knows that people that are involved with the media are the most holy. They're usually ones who don't lie about things,
Never.
misinform everybody.
That does never happen.
They always have the facts straight.
Yeah.
Like us. Trust us. We're kind of this is a media.
Yeah.
In a way. Trust us.
Trust us.
The government is going to take your fucking bones. They're going to grind.
Okay, don't trust us.
They're gonna grind them up into just fucking fucking powder, and then they're gonna take that powder, dude, and they're gonna turn it into ballistic weapons to fight the war.
I don't think so.
You think you're wrong?
Well.
I know you're wrong, actually.
All right. Well, reviewer Mary Beth Gurman wrote that the book was poorly written, adding that, quote, it is hard to conceive of a supposedly sophisticated objective and, as far as I know, at least until now, credible reporter like Curran taking their story seriously given the complete lack of empirical or physical evidence to support it. That same year, the pastor of Immaculate Conception Parish in West Pittston, Reverend Joseph Adonzio, said that the Smurls felt that after intense prayers, quote, things are back to normal. In 1987, Janet Smurl told reporters that they still heard knocking and saw shadows. And after the Smurl family moved to Wilkes-Barre, Deborah Owens moved into the former Smurl home in 1988 and told reporters she never encountered anything supernatural while living there. However, we did cover that the entity would follow them. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't know. When it comes to the activity itself, there are a number of inconsistencies in the Smurl stories that have raised questions over time. During the same interview with Lorraine Warren, despite claims of not being a believer until Chase Street, Jack tells a story of how when he was 9, he encountered a pair of eyes with no body or form to them at his family's home in Wilkes-Barre, which I do want to say, a lot of people will encounter something odd or unexplained, but they still don't believe in ghosts, you know?
Oh yeah, I know.
That is super common.
For sure. I have a bunch of friends who experience weird shit, but they're like, I don't know.
Yeah. So like that's not that weird, right? You see a pair of eyes with no body or form, but you're like, I don't know. It's like, well. There's also differences between the Smurl's account in the video interview versus the book. The book details an eerie voice calling Janet's name, and it says it more than twice, and that she never assumes it's her sister. So that's an inconsistency. The book also mentions how the family experienced other concerning phenomena early on when they moved into the house, as opposed to the events described over that 18-month period. While potentially insignificant, it's inconsistencies like these that skeptics tend to cling on to and be like, hey, fucker, you said this.
Yeah, people also forget things and whatever, dude.
Yeah. On top of that, Jack
people can fucking forget things. All right, they're allowed to forget things.
Yeah. Jack consistently promised to provide evidence of the dark forces to the press, which he never did. And it was also reported to be in talks to get a movie made, which it ended up becoming done, was the 1991 TV film The Haunted, which was adapted from the Curran book. One of the Smurl's daughters, Karen, maintained that in a 2016 Pittston Progress article that the family never got a dime
from the movie.
They never made money from the book or the movie.
Damn.
And she said, quote, who would want to go through all that media and public bashing
Me?
For no money?
Oh, yeah. No, nobody. But I'd go through all the public bashing for money.
Right. So, like, that's the thing is it's like we've said time and time again, why would someone go through, make up a story and go through this public ridicule for nothing?
Yeah, literally. I mean, like, I mean, even if I went out there and told my story, we made a movie off of it, right? And it made money off of it, and I got money from it, and people were like, "Oh, you're making money off of it," blah blah blah. I'd be like, well, it's my fucking story. It's what happened to me.
Yeah.
Whether you choose to believe it or not is entirely up to you. There is no way that I'm going to persuade you that this happened to me. And if you don't want to believe it, that's fine. But I know what happened.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Quote, to the naysayers, I hope it doesn't take something as extreme as what we went through to make them believers. We wouldn't wish our experiences on anyone. And at long last, Jack had announced in October that the demons had left the house and the world was left without any evidence, with the Smurls eventually leaving the home, which kind of gave some problems because no one wanted to move there.
Yeah.
No one wanted to be in there. But in any case, the haunting in Pittstown had come to a close, and that's all I got for this week's episode.
Wow. That was fun. Very fun.
Yeah.
Very terrifying. 2 years of Haunts, Graves, and Omens.
2 years.
Pretty exciting.
It's wild.
So you said your favorite episode is the Windy Bagels?
No. My favorite episode's probably the Hat Man.
Hat Man is your favorite.
I think it's just such a good episode.
You know, yeah, it's a good episode. You know what's really funny is I was looking back. The first ever episode we did for Haunts, Graves, and Omens was Mothman and the Jersey Devil.
Yeah.
Which is a strong start.
Yeah.
Right? We could talk about the Mothman and the Jersey Devil. It was super fun, super exciting. And then the next week, I talked about botched executions, which is quite the jump.
Yeah.
You know, we definitely went from like, instead of like maybe getting into like some robbery crime, you know, like something like kind of building up into it, you know, I was like, let me talk about how this dude was electrocuted and then burned. Isn't that fun?
So fun.
But for those watching, thank you so much for the last 2 years. It's really been, it's been wild. It's been really interesting. Did not expect to be doing this for 2 years. It's just super bizarre, you know?
Yeah.
It's weird to be doing this for 2 years. And like I said, we're ramping up for episode 100. We will be doing a live stream like the one we were doing for this one for episode 100. And I'll post a whole flyer about it so you guys know when it's going to happen, things like that. It'll be on our Instagram. And you guys can experience the haunting with us. But it's just bizarre to be doing this for 2 years.
Yeah. It is weird. It's very weird.
Yeah. Thank you. Nonetheless, it's been fun. It's been very, very fun. And we're going to keep going.
Yeah.
Get another, this is episode 97?
Yeah. I think so.
97, 96, something like that.
I think it's 97.
Yeah. It's 90 something, which is fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
You know, almost 100 weeks, you know,
Yeah.
of just straight damn near. I mean, we take some breaks off during the holidays, which we'll do again.
Yeah. Coming up here next month. I think.
Yeah. So look out for that. But nonetheless, again, thank you so much for, listening to us and sharing the time and sharing it with your friends and all that fun stuff. And, sharing the podcast, watching the podcast now actually listening or watching and listening to the podcast now. And, it's just bizarre, man. It's just weird.
It's wild.
It's super wild. But until next week for a Halloween special, stay spooky.
Stay haunted. Got anything?
Boo! I see, I got you, dude. Yes, dude. Woo! Let's go.
Why did that get me?
It was so fucking funny. It was so worth it. Oh, it's so funny. Bye.